This piece is in the key of C sharp minor, and we start with the chord of C sharp minor, our tonic chord. The tonic chord is just the first chord of any key. So we have a C sharp minor first, and I have here a C sharp, E natural, G sharp. That is a C sharp minor triad. So C sharp minor, a brief passage through the C sharp minor with the seventh, the B natural there. This is just a passing chord moving towards the F sharp minor, and then moving on to C sharp minor, and now a very fancy chord in what we call an augmented sixth chord. Now, why is this an augmented sixth chord? I have an A, C sharp, an E, and an F double sharp. F is the sixth letter above A. F is the sixth note above A. Now, above A, F sharp is the major sixth, F natural is a minor sixth. So if I go back to the major sixth and push that further even more, I'll have the F double sharp and F that went sharp twice. So this is what we call an F augmented sixth, because the sixth was augmented from the major. It's an augmented chord. It's an augmented sixth chord. Now this A augmented sixth chord also has a nickname because it was so commonly used throughout the Baroque and the classical periods. This is what we call a German augmented sixth chord. If the third note in this chord is an augmented fourth, from the A to the D sharp, that's an augmented fourth. If that is the note, this will be called a French augmented sixth chord. If there was no third note, this will be called an Italian augmented sixth chord. Now these nicknames are literally just nicknames. They don't mean anything else rather than just being able to differentiate between these three types. This doesn't mean that this chord was most commonly used in Germany or anything like that. All these augmented sixth chords they prepare very well for the dominant chord of the home key that will then lead us back to the home key. So this is where you see most times these augmented sixth chords showing up, because you have the half step before the dominant chord. This is the half step before the G sharp, and also half step above the A going to the G sharp. So this creates a very expressive movement towards that dominant chord. This is the dominant chord to the home key of C sharp minor. And remember, the dominant chord is just the major chord built on top of the fifth note above the tonic of the key. So if I'm in the key of C sharp minor, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, that is a fifth chord, fifth note, a major chord built on top of that, especially if it has a seventh, that will be a dominant chord. A dominant chord attracts the home key. The dominant chord creates the tension that we need to go back home to the home key. So continuing measure 2, we are here on an augmented sixth chord that moves on to the dominant chord G sharp major. And we repeat C sharp minor, passing through the C sharp minor 7, F sharp minor, C sharp minor, the same German augmented sixth chord, landing on the dominant chord G sharp major. And now the main theme begins in C sharp minor. And here I have a C sharp, an E, and a G sharp. Putting these notes together, I have the C sharp minor triad. So C sharp minor, D sharp, half diminished. And here I have a D sharp, the F sharp is here. I had an A as well, and a C sharp. Now without the seventh, without that note, this is the seventh above the bass. Without that note, this would be just a D sharp diminished chord. The moment I put the seventh, now I have either a half diminished, if the seventh is a minor seventh, or if I pull the seventh down even further for a diminished seventh, now I have a fully diminished chord. The half diminished is a mild chord, the fully diminished is very dissonant. So Chopin was going for something a bit more mild here. So C sharp minor again, D sharp half diminished, back to C sharp minor, still C sharp minor. And now C sharp major, we are raising that E natural to E sharp. And every time you raise a note in any key, we are creating a secondary dominant. We are attracting the note that will be a half step above that note we just raised. So in this case, this is a secondary dominant to F sharp minor. That's where the music is leading us at this point. But we'll see that we won't go there. We'll have a deceptive cadence. We are back to D sharp half diminished. This is called a deceptive cadence, and it's literally very deceptive. We expect it to go here. We expect it to arrive in F sharp minor, but we don't. We arrive in the wrong, quotes, wrong chord of D sharp half diminished. Surprising arrival here. And now G sharp 7, again, dominant chord again, C sharp minor, the same D sharp half diminished. And now a dominant chord, but suspended this time with a C sharp. G sharp, C sharp, D sharp, and F. I see those 4 notes here. That is a G sharp major, where the third is suspended. We have that C sharp there. And a suspended chord only exists to delay the harmony, to delay what is about to happen. So because the moment we put a suspension, we delay the arrival of the actual chord that will always come after. The C sharp will resolve down, and now we have our dominant that will then go on to the tonic. So we're just delaying that arrival. Suspension. Now resolving the suspension on the dominant chord. And we're back to the beginning, C sharp minor, the same harmony, D sharp half diminished, back to C sharp minor. And now we have the same secondary dominant, the same C sharp major with the 7th. But this time we arrive exactly where we expected all along. It seems like we wanted to get here since the beginning, but only now we found the right way to get there. And here we have another very surprising chord, a D natural. This is a D natural major chord. Remember, we are in the home key of C sharp minor, and we suddenly hear a chord that is half step above that, and is a major chord. Where did this chord come from? This chord is the 6th chord of the 4th chord of the home key. And this chord is so common that it also has a nickname. We call this the Neapolitan chord. Now, what does it mean to be the 6th chord of the 4th chord of the home key? If this sounds confusing, just follow these steps. So the home key is C sharp minor. The 4th chord here will be F sharp minor. And now if we look at the key of F sharp minor, the 6th note above that is the D natural. And if you build that chord on top of the D natural, we find the D natural chord. So the D natural is actually very closely related to the F sharp minor. And the F sharp minor is very closely related to the C sharp minor. So when we use the D natural in the key of C sharp minor, it's just a very surprising form of F sharp minor. It's like a subdominant chord. It behaves just like the F sharp minor would, but it's just very surprising. It's very closely related to the 4th chord in C sharp minor, because it is the 6th chord of the 4th chord of our home key. So here we are on the Neapolitan chord, very surprising chord. Moving on to B sharp, fully diminished. Here I have a B sharp, D sharp, F sharp, and A natural. B sharp, fully diminished. B sharp being the leading tone, the half step before C sharp. This is a dominant chord. We want to arrive on that C sharp minor chord. But we don't hear that. We actually hear the same augmented 6th chord we had in the beginning. The same augmented 6th, the German augmented 6th chord that we had in the beginning, and that leads us to our final cadence. We arrive on the cadential chord. The cadential chord is the tonic chord, is the 1st chord of every key with the 5th in the bass. The moment we play a tonic chord with the 5th in the bass, we make the chord very unstable because of that 5th there. So this chord becomes very unstable. It's now the perfect time to play the dominant chord that would then lead us back to the tonic. This makes it a very strong cadence, and usually this cadential chord we hear that the tonic with the fifth in the bass, we know that a major section is about to end. So cadential chord here. So dissonance on the A natural, a beautiful dissonance, leading us to the dominant chord, as we would expect, and resolving in C sharp minor. And we end this section in the home key of C sharp minor. The main section ended in the home key of C sharp minor, and back to measure 19, we had the cadential chord, G sharp 7 dominant chord, finishing in C sharp minor. And now with a seamless transition, with just three notes going down, we change keys. Now we're in the key of A major. This new theme will be in the key of A major. Every other chord will be going around A major, no more around C sharp minor, at least for the time being, at least for these next few measures. So A major, E7th, dominant chord, A major again, and the dominant of A, E7 again. The E major 7th is the fifth chord above A, is the fifth note, is the chord built on top of the fifth note above A. That is the dominant chord to A. So here we heard A major E7th, A E7th, and now we flip, we have E7th, A, E7th, A, E7th, and A. And the same thing will now repeat, but in a different key. Now we move on to F sharp minor, C sharp 7. This is now the dominant to F sharp minor. We start this part now in F sharp minor. Moving on to C sharp 7th, dominant. And now we flip, we immediately hear dominant tonic, C sharp 7th. Back to F sharp minor. And moving on to G sharp 7. This is now a very familiar chord. This is the dominant chord to the main key of C sharp minor. So this is now very familiar. G sharp major 7, C sharp minor. We're home key, we're definitely back to the beginning, to the home key. C sharp minor, G sharp 7, finishing C sharp minor. And here now we're going to hear the same augmented sixth chord, but a different flavor. Remember that we had different types of augmented sixths. We had the German augmented sixth with the perfect fifth, with the augmented fourth, the French, and with no third note, the Italian. Now instead of hearing the German again, we're going to hear the French augmented sixth chord, because we have A natural, D sharp, C sharp, and F double sharp. That is the French augmented sixth chord. And just like the German augmented sixth chord, this chord is just leading us to the dominant G sharp 7, preparing us, at least hinting that the music might be going back to the beginning. It's not yet, you'll go somewhere else, but we're definitely playing with the idea. So this is the French augmented sixth chord, arriving where we expect it to arrive in the G7, and we go back to the same French augmented sixth chord, G7 again, and now a C double sharp fully diminished, very dissonant chord, and this chord is the dominant of D sharp, and D sharp is the dominant of G sharp. G sharp was the fifth chord above C sharp minor. G sharp was the dominant of C sharp minor. So the D sharp 7th is the dominant of the dominant. The G sharp is the dominant of C sharp minor, and the C double sharp fully diminished is the dominant of the dominant of the dominant. Just chaining all of these dominants around. So here we have a C double sharp fully diminished, arriving the cadential chord. Remember, the cadential chord is the moment, is the tonic chord. G sharp major will be at least our new tonic, with the fifth in the bass, the D sharp now in the bass. This is the perfect moment to hear the dominant, and then finish on the new tonic of G sharp major. So back back to measure our 31, C double sharp fully diminished, cadential chord, and the dominant chord as we would expect. And here we arrive in C sharp major. Seems like this is our new key, but this now becomes very playful because we keep changing minds, like Chopin keeps changing his mind. So we are in G sharp major, and we hear that French augmented chord again. That A natural is basically telling me that we're going to go back to G sharp, to go back to C sharp, to C sharp minor, because this is the augmented 6th chord, and that's what we hear immediately here. Augmented 6, G sharp, D sharp major, and then we go back to the D sharp 7th. The moment I hear the D sharp major 7th, I am now back to G sharp major, not C sharp minor. So again, the moment I have an augmented 6th chord, that A natural is changing everything. That A natural is hinting that we're going back to C sharp minor. But if the A is not natural, in these measures where the A is sharp, we're not going back to C sharp at all. This is just the dominant to G sharp. So it seems like Chopin is changing his mind and just being very playful about this. So G sharp, French augmented 6th chord, G sharp. And now the dominant with the A sharp, no A natural, A sharp, arriving G sharp. And this seems to, like we're back, trying to go back to C sharp minor, the same French augmented 6th, G sharp, and the same dominant now, dominant to G sharp. And now we seem to stay with the dominant. Seems like Chopin made up his mind. We will finish this part in G sharp minor, G sharp major. And this is where we finish. We have that measure with a very spread out G sharp major arpeggio ending the middle section in G sharp major. The middle section of this piece ended in the dominant key of G sharp major. On measure 45, we had that very spread out G sharp major arpeggio. And now with no transition, no modulation, just by waiting, just by letting these notes fade out, we go back to C sharp minor. So we return to the main key, to the home key of C sharp minor. And this starts in pretty much the same way as before. C sharp minor, D sharp half diminished, C sharp minor, and the same secondary dominant, C sharp 7, C sharp major 7th, secondary dominant to F sharp minor, and we arrive in F sharp minor. And this sounds like a very confident arrival, because the first time in the piece we heard this chord, deceptive cadence into D sharp half diminished. We had to play the entire theme and try it again to finally arrive on measure 16 in F sharp minor. This time, no, we arrive in F sharp minor right away by saying we've been here before, we know exactly how to do this. So F sharp minor, G sharp 7, dominant chord, C sharp minor, the same D sharp half diminished, and now a dominant chord suspended with a C sharp, the same suspension we heard before. The C sharp will resolve on the B sharp, suspension, dominant chord, arriving F double sharp. The F double sharp is just an F sharp that was raised by a half step. Every time we raise a note by a half step, we're making that a new leading tone to the key that comes after. So the F double sharp, and this is now a fully dominant chord, a fully diminished chord. We have the F double sharp, C sharp, A sharp. So F double sharp, A sharp, C sharp, and the natural E that was up there. This is a fully diminished chord over that new leading tone, and that leading tone to the D sharp makes this a dominant chord, a chord that will attract to the G sharp. So this is the secondary dominant, a dominant for the G sharp, and the G sharp is a dominant to C sharp minor. So this is the dominant of C sharp minor. F sharp fully diminished. Moving on to D sharp 7 by simply making that E natural, bringing that down to the D. Now we have D, F sharp, A sharp, C sharp. This is still the dominant chord to G sharp. It's just a different dominant. It still has that leading tone. Both the 5th note above any key or the 7th can function as a dominant chord. So this is a D sharp major, still a dominant chord to G sharp, the dominant of the home key of C sharp minor. And now the dominant chord, as we would expect, G sharp major, still dominant, C sharp minor. And now the chord that we're very familiar with by now, the D sharp half diminished. Very important chord for this piece. Same dominant chord suspended, dominant chord finishing C sharp minor. And now we're going to repeat, we're going to go back and forth between C sharp minor and the D sharp half diminished, just with flourishes, improvisations on the right hand. C sharp minor, again D sharp half diminished, back to C sharp minor, D sharp half diminished, always the same, C sharp minor, D sharp half diminished, and C sharp minor. Still taking turns, going back and forth, D sharp half diminished, C sharp minor, D sharp half diminished, and very surprising ending. We don't finish on C sharp minor, we actually finish in C sharp major. A change that has it's here just to create this positive, this hopeful chord of a major chord at the end. It's not like we're modulating to C sharp major. We change C sharp minor to C sharp major just to create this color, this positive character at the end of such a gloomy and dark piece in C sharp minor.